You can forgive a car for being slow. You can forgive it for being small. But if it's loud, hot, or freezing, you notice every second you're in it. Tesla understands that comfort isn't just about seats or screens. It's about what you don't feel. No dry air, no humming tires, no sudden blast of heat. It's the invisible science of how calm a cabin feels. The Model 2 borrows lessons from Tesla's higher-end models, but trims them down to survive the $25,000 price ceiling. Its climate system doesn't just blow air, it calculates it. Hidden vents run across the dashboard, creating a seamless curtain of airflow instead of those harsh front jets that hit your face. The temperature sensors read sunlight angle, window tint, even the color of your shirt to predict how warm or cool you'll feel 10 minutes from now. That's not marketing. It's code written from aviation-grade algorithms. And when it's cold, the system does something clever. Instead of wasting battery power on traditional resistive heaters, it uses a heat pump that reclaims warmth from the battery system itself. In the Model 3, that tech already cuts energy use by about 30%. Scaled to the smaller Model 2, it could warm the cabin from freezing to comfortable in under 10 minutes. 5. If you start it from your phone before stepping outside. Then there's the part most drivers never think about, air quality. Tesla might include a PM 2.5 filter, the same type used in hospital clean rooms. That means fewer dust particles, less city smog, and a noticeable difference for anyone with asthma or allergies. It's one of those invisible luxuries you don't notice until you step back into a normal car and realize how dirty the air feels. But even perfect air can't fix fatigue if your ears are working overtime. Noise is the hidden villain of long drives. A steady 70 decibels of road noise might sound harmless, but after an hour, it wears you down like background stress. It's one reason older drivers often feel drained even on short trips. Here, Tesla faces its toughest challenge. The Model 3 measures around 71 decibels at highway speeds, slightly louder than a Corolla. To fix that, engineers are experimenting with acoustic glass and tighter door seals for the Model 2. It's a small upgrade that could make a big psychological difference. Because silence, not horsepower, is what makes an EV feel truly premium. And yet, perfection costs money. Every extra layer of insulation adds weight, and every gram of weight eats into range. So Tesla has to make a trade, the quiet of a Lexus, or the efficiency of a battery designed to stretch every mile. For a $25,000 car, it can't have both. That's the fine line Elon Musk's engineers are walking right now, a battle between cost and calm, between what's technically possible and what's emotionally necessary. Because the truth is, comfort isn't luxury anymore, it's psychology. And the Model 2's biggest challenge isn't noise or air or heat. It's how all those invisible factors combine to make you feel safe. The question is, can Tesla pull that off without making the cabin feel like a budget compromise? Because after climate and silence, the next frontier isn't mechanical, it's mental. And that's where Tesla's design begins to play tricks on the human brain. Most cars overload your brain. Buttons, lights, icons, chimes. Every glance is a micro-decision. And the older you get, the more exhausting that becomes. Tesla looked at that chaos and decided to erase it. No clutter, no physical dashboard. Just one center screen, clean, silent, and shockingly bare. To some, it feels futuristic. To others, it feels unsettling. That's because your brain expects complexity. When you sit behind a wheel, your eyes instinctively search for dials, needles, gauges, the old signals of control. Remove them, and your brain momentarily panics. It's like waking up in a familiar room, only to realize someone's moved the furniture overnight. But here's the twist. Once that initial discomfort fades, the simplicity becomes addictive. With fewer distractions, the mind starts to relax. Reaction times improve, stress levels drop, and the act of driving starts to feel, paradoxically, calmer. That's not an accident. Tesla's interface team studied something called cognitive load theory, the science of how much information the brain can handle at once. They found that every unnecessary button adds invisible stress. So instead of giving you more, Tesla's giving you less. A few icons, smart voice commands, and gestures that mimic natural human instinct. Need to open the glove box? Tap the corner of the screen. Need the wipers? The system detects rain before you do. In short, the car starts thinking with you, not against you. For younger drivers, it feels intuitive, like using a phone. But for older users, this is Tesla's biggest gamble. They're replacing decades of muscle memory with digital gestures. No tactile knobs, no familiar feedback, just glass. And yet, that's where the real genius lies. Because the absence of clutter isn't just aesthetic, it's emotional design. It tells your brain, you don't have to control everything. Just drive. And that's a radical shift from how cars have treated drivers for the last century. Every part of the Model 2's interface is built to trigger calm through simplicity. Flat, white lighting instead of harsh LEDs. Rounded icons that subconsciously reduce perceived stress. A screen layout that subtly guides your eyes from left to right, mirroring how humans naturally scan their environment. Even the animations, the way doors open or maps zoom, are tuned to move slower than a normal UI. That delay isn't a bug. It's psychology. Slower motion creates a sense of luxury and calm, even in a $25,000 car. But minimalism has a dark side too. When everything depends on one screen, what happens if it fails? A software glitch, a cracked display, a delayed update, and suddenly, the future looks fragile. That fragility could be the one thing holding some buyers back. And Tesla knows it. That's why the company's now exploring a new interface language for the Model 2, one that balances digital elegance with a hint of old-school reassurance. We don't know exactly what that means yet, but sources inside the design studio say there's internal debate about adding a secondary display strip, something subtle, perhaps near the steering column, just enough to make older drivers feel grounded again. Because Tesla's not just designing a car, it's designing trust. And trust, once lost, takes years to rebuild. But the bigger story isn't what the screen looks like. It's what that screen represents, the end of mechanical driving as we know it. Because after the psychology of simplicity comes something far more powerful, the automation of instinct. And that's where Tesla's real secret begins. In the end, the Tesla Model 2 isn't just a cheaper car. It's a statement that the future of driving won't be decided by speed, but by feeling. Tesla isn't selling horsepower anymore. It's selling peace of mind. Every silent motor, every clean dashboard, every line of code, all built to make chaos disappear. Because comfort, in the age of technology, is no longer physical. It's emotional. And maybe that's the real reason Elon Musk keeps chasing simplicity. He knows the next revolution won't come from a faster battery or a bigger screen. It'll come from a car that makes you forget you're even driving. But here's the paradox. The closer Tesla gets to perfection, the less human the experience becomes. When your car predicts your habits, adjusts your seat, tunes your air, and steers for you, are you still in control? Or are you just a passenger in someone else's idea of the future? The model may second answer that question before anyone's ready. Because it's not just another EV, it's a test. A test of whether simplicity, software, and silence can still make us feel alive behind the wheel. And as Tesla quietly builds the most affordable car in its history, it might also be building the most personal machine ever made. Because the future of driving isn't about engines anymore. It's about emotion, coated in glass, silence, and light. And if Elon Musk is right, the Model 2 won't just move us forward. It'll redefine what it means to move at all. Most drivers spend months comparing horsepower, but the next revolution in cars won't happen under the hood. It's happening inside the cabin, and Tesla's $25,000 Model 2 might quietly destroy everything you think you know about comfort. Most drivers judge a car by the sound of its engine or the feel of the accelerator. But Tesla doesn't want you to feel power, it wants you to see it. And in the Model 2, that vision all comes down to one thing. A single 15-inch touchscreen. No speedometer behind the wheel. No dials. Just one glowing rectangle in the center of your vision. A design that feels radical, maybe even unsettling, the first time you sit inside. Because for over 50 years, drivers have relied on physical gauges and muscle memory. Now Tesla's asking millions of people, many of them over 50, to unlearn that. So why risk it? Tesla's philosophy is brutal in its simplicity. Reduce everything that creates friction between the driver and the drive. That's why the Model 2 ditches nearly every physical control. Wipers, climate, defrost, all of it digital. Even the speed readout has been moved to the corner of the touchscreen. It's the kind of minimalist design that makes tech fans cheer and traditionalists uneasy. But there's a reason behind the madness. The Model 2's interface runs at 60 Hz with touch latency under 50 milliseconds, faster than the average Toyota or Honda by nearly half. Every tap, every swipe, every scroll is engineered to feel instant. That speed matters more than it seems. For older drivers, it's not just about convenience, it's about focus. Tesla's internal testing shows that when icons are bigger, brighter, and simpler, drivers spend less time hunting through menus and more time watching the road. It's designed as a safety feature. At night, the system automatically enlarges key controls by 12%, boosts contrast, and simplifies the layout. Every driver remembers the feeling of a bad seat, the slow ache in your back after 2 hours, the stiff neck after a long commute. It's the part of the car no one talks about in ads, but everyone feels on the highway. Tesla knows that pain. And with the Model 2, it wants to turn something cheap into something quietly revolutionary. At first glance, the seats look simple, plain fabric or Tesla's synthetic leather, no fancy stitching, no glowing logos. But under the surface lies one of the company's boldest experiments yet, algorithm-built comfort. Most carmakers design seats by trial and error. They build prototypes, test them, tweak the foam, and repeat. Tesla skips that. Its engineers feed body scan data from thousands of drivers into a simulation that maps pressure points across the spine, hips, and thighs. Then software calculates the optimal foam density for each zone, firmer at the edges for support, softer in the center for endurance. It's the same kind of modeling used by premium German sedans, compressed into a car that's supposed to cost less than $25,000. If those numbers hold, the Model 2 seats could improve pressure distribution by up to 20% compared with the Model 3. That means fewer sore backs, fewer numb legs, and less fatigue on 3-hour drives. But comfort isn't just about foam. It's about geometry. The Model 2 aims for a seat width around 55 centimeters, recline angles near 13 degrees, and a height that's a touch taller than the average compact EV, around 470 millimeters. That half-inch difference might sound tiny, yet it changes everything for older drivers. You slide in instead of dropping down. Your knees bend less, your hips strain less, and getting out doesn't feel like a gym move. There's also a subtle advantage Tesla rarely talks about: visibility. By raising the seat slightly higher than Chinese EV rivals, the Model 2 gives you a better line of sight over SUVs ahead. That's a small safety edge that turns into confidence, especially for aging eyes and slower reaction times. Still, there's one thing Tesla hasn't mastered yet: softness. Japanese sedans like the Corolla or Civic use gentle, forgiving foam that feels right for a 250-mile trip. Tesla's current seats? Firm, precise, even a little clinical. They're built for control, not coziness. So the real test for the Model 2 is emotional, not technical. Can cold, calculated ergonomics actually feel human? If Tesla gets it right, it could erase one of the last advantages Japan has held for decades: long-distance comfort. If it gets it wrong, the Model 2 might still look futuristic, but it'll feel like a budget experiment after 2 hours on the freeway. And that's what makes this $25,000 seat so symbolic. Because it isn't just about padding, it's about trust. Tesla is asking millions of drivers to believe that data can replace experience, that algorithms can replicate the touch of a craftsman. The question is, when comfort becomes code, does the results still feel human? And that leads straight into the next hidden layer of this story: the air you don't see, but breathe every second you drive.